Ashes of Problem Students. Written by Morrigan_Robinson. Read by Hijinks Audio. Summary. Won't everyone else get worried if they don't see me before class? His student asked meekly. They'd probably think I died or something. Let it be known that Aizawa Shouta was very tired and maybe feeling a little vindictive. A cheshire grin overtakes his expression as he replies, Good. Or, Midoriya gets sick and Aizawa sees the perfect opportunity to play a prank on the class that's constantly denying him sleep. Chaos ensues. Aizawa Shouta had a rough patrol. He finally got back to his apartment at UA 2 hours past his usual time, and he was exhausted. His eyes burned from the constant use of his quirk on a drug raid gone wrong, and all he wanted was to slip into bed with his husband, and try to fit in at least a 30-minute power nap before he had to deal with his hellions. Unfortunately, just as he finished changing into his pink sweatpants and black t-shirt, there's a knock on his door. He suppresses a groan as he trudges over to his door and unceremoniously yanks it open. On the other side of the door stood his number one problem child, Midoriya Izuku. The kid looked disheveled, desperately clinging to his favorite All Might blanket. Green eyes glistened with unshed tears as he sniffled. Aizawa-sensei, I'm sorry to bother you, but my mum is asleep and I don't want to wake her up, and I know I probably seem like a baby coming to you like this, but... The kid devolves into a familiar matter-storm, and Shouta takes a moment to observe his student more carefully. His face was flushed, and he was sweating bullets despite his noticeable shivering. Shouta sighs as he moves to the side and gestures for Midoriya to come in. The kid quickly snaps his mouth shut and shuffles inside with Shouta closing the door and locking it behind him. He gets Midoriya settled on the couch and grabs the thermometer from the bathroom to check his temperature, which is, sure enough, high. Maybe you shouldn't have trained with Todoroki's ice in the rain, kid. Shouta scolds lightly. Just rest here. Don't worry about classes tomorrow. I'm sure your boyfriends will get you some notes and schoolwork. Won't everyone else get worried if they don't see me before class? His student asked meekly. They'd probably think I died or something. Let it be known that Aizawa Shouta was very tired and maybe feeling a little vindictive. A cheshire grin overtakes his expression as he replies, Good. The students of Class 1A trudge into class in their own typical ways. Ida and Yaoyorozu were the first to arrive, as usual, with Ida proceeding to scold anyone that is less than 15 minutes early. The more energetic of the students mingle about and talk with one another, while the more quiet and subdued glue themselves to their desks with varying levels of dread for the day ahead. Due to previous experience, everyone is dutifully in their seats by the time the bell rings. They all take notice of a certain empty seat, and some brave, or foolish, souls dare to check their phones and attempt to send out some messages. The teacher seems to pop up from his desk from seemingly nowhere, setting down a portable coffee maker and a ceramic pot. The ceramic pot in question is blue with a block of white behind the text, Ashes of Problem Students. Aizawa takes the cork off the top of the pot and scoops out some of its contents into his coffee maker. It just looked like coffee grounds, but... Ashidomina tentatively raises her hand. Aizawa-sensei, do you know where Midoriya is? Some of the students squirm in their seats, anxiously awaiting the answer. The only response they get is a gesture towards the ceramic pot, and all hell breaks loose. What is that supposed to mean? Is he dead? Did you kill him? What did the nerd do this time? Is Deku okay? Everyone, please calm down. This is unbecoming of UA students. Aizawa easily quiets his hellions with a quirk-fueled glare and sips his freshly brewed coffee. The class doesn't get a single response to any of their questions regarding their classmate. They just sit there, dumbfounded, as their homeroom teacher goes over the morning announcements. The bell for lunch sounds, and there's still no word from Midoriya. Uraraka Ochako is quick to corner Midoriya's boyfriends, Shinzo Hitoshi and Todoroki Shoto. She practically drags the boys to their usual table so she can demand answers. Where is Deku? You do know where he is, right? Is he okay? She fires off questions rapidly, worried for her friend. Asui Suyu and Ida Tenya join them with their trays of food, each showing interest in the questions. I would also like to know the answer, Ida adds with a familiar chop of his arms. He must have a valid reason for missing class. He's typically an exemplary student. Sue cuts in as well. I just hope he's okay. Cow. Damn, you guys aren't even letting us answer. Shinzo smiles lazily. But no, we don't know what happened to him.
I'm sure he's fine though. Aizawa-sensei seemed pretty calm, so he probably knows what's going on.
Of course Aizawa-sensei knows what's going on, Todoroki interjects. He's clearly ground him up and brewed him into a mug of coffee. This earns a dramatic eye roll from his present boyfriend. And not for the first time that day, the room devolves into chaos. By the time classes are out for the day, Kaminari Denki has set up a shrine in the common room of the dorm. The picture in the frame was taken by Ashido when they toured each classmate's dorm rooms, so Midoriya was doing his best impression of a strawberry when his own room was being looked at. In front of the shrine, a large group of students have gathered around a piece of broccoli in the middle of a large cardboard box, which was being used like a makeshift coffin. Tokoyami Fumikage was even wearing a black cloak that shadowed both him and Dark Shadow completely.
We stand here today in honor of our fallen classmate, Midoriya Izuku, hero named Deku, starts Kaminari. He was a strong and kind person, an amazing friend.
The electric quirk teen gets interrupted by his explosive classmate.
What the hell are you all doing?
He shouts. Deku isn't dead.
But Jiro said she couldn't even hear his heartbeat in his room,
Kirishima Ajiro interjects.
Also, interrupting the ceremony isn't very manly, Bakubro.
Bakugo Katsuki grumbles and throws his hands in the air.
Fine, do whatever, see if I care,
he shouts again, before stomping up the stairs to his room.
What a mad banquet of darkness,
Tokoyami mutters, after the blonde is out of earshot. The group stands there silently for a moment, glancing between each other before Kaminari speaks up again.
Anyway, let's continue with the ceremony.
At the end of the day, Izuku is feeling marginally better. He practically slept the whole day away on his teacher's couch, so he's still sitting there when there's a knock at the door. The teenager carefully stands, taking his time so he doesn't fall over from the dizziness, and makes his way over to the door. Upon opening it, he's only a little surprised to see both his boyfriends. Hitoshi and Shoto push their way inside and drag Izuku back to the couch. Hitoshi is quick to steal some coffee and tea from their teacher's cabinets, strangely knowing exactly where they are, while Shoto sticks by Izuku to help regulate his temperature.
Half the class is convinced you died, Izuku, Hitoshi informs incredulously. Shoto was starting to believe it too, until Aizawa-sensei told us to bring you the work for today.
What else would that pot have been for if not the ashes of his proclaimed #1 problem child? Shoto asks, his deadpan expression making it hard to discern if he's being serious or not.
Izuku hopes not.
Izuku smiles softly and leans into Shoto's left side for warmth.
Well, he seemed pretty tired when I came to him. I think he just wanted a bit of revenge on the class.
He chuckles awkwardly.
Then be prepared to sift through a million messages on your phone,
Hitoshi sighs, bringing Izuku and Shoto some tea before going back to the kitchen to grab his coffee. He soon joins them both on the couch, with Izuku being sandwiched in the middle. The green-haired teen groans in response.
How could they even fall for something like that?
Both his boyfriends just shrug in lieu of a response. Oh well, it did seem pretty funny. He'd just have to deal with the fallout later. With all of his Hellions occupied with the problem child returning from the dead, Shota is finally able to get a nice nap in. The door bursts open with enough force to damage the frame.
Young Aizawa, why is there a shrine for young Midoriya in the common room?
Or maybe not. Thank you for listening to my podfic of Ashes of Problem Students. This was a super fun one-shot, and honestly, Aizawa deserves to cause some chaos after dealing with the whole class every day. As always, I'll be leaving links in my bio and my description for families in Palestine who require aid, and the Palestine Red Crescent Society, so if you can donate or share the links, that would be greatly appreciated. Thank you all for listening, and have a lovely day.